Hey everybody, welcome back to Real Maine Fishing. I'm Derek, and I got a lot of questions on my Garmin Panoptix Livescope box that I built. So this video is to kind of answer some questions, go over the build in a little bit more detail. I wish I would have done a build on this because it would have saved a lot of questions, a lot of time. So a general overview of what this is a 30-quart Magellan Outdoors dry box. Integrated into it, we have an iLight 12-volt marine DC panel. Everything will be linked in the description on this, so if you have any questions on what it is exactly, you can just look below. This is the sonar itself right in here. The Garmin Panoptix Livescope system comes with this bag, and you can tear it all down, you can coil the wire up, you can take the pole down, and everything will go right in here. That just kind of sits around wherever I put it. It's pretty protected inside that bag. So the first thing that you have to do when you mount the Panoptix system in it is find out where you're going to put the screen. I attached mine right to the lid here, and it's attached, if you look right here, with some 1/4 screws. The screws attached to the bracket that comes with the Garmin screen itself, and I specifically designed it so that the screws go right underneath the lid. So 2 screws come up underneath the lid. I cut the screws off so that a handle can fold down easily and they're kind of tucked out of the way. But I just centered it on the actual lid part. This is the 7-inch model. The 9-inch, I believe, will fit in this, but it's going to be really tight and you're going to have your screen angled pretty much straight up so that it can clear any of the internal components. Second to that, what powers the lid when you push it up are these gas shocks. Again, those are in the description as well. I bought some longer ones, but it was just way too powerful. It was going to bust the lid right off the top. So I believe these are just 6-inch gas shocks. They work really good in the cold. I just had it out in probably 2-degree weather, and they still worked just great. So I was really happy with these. It took me a couple tries to mount them to get that final set just right. That's why there's some screw holes here, but I was able to figure it out and make it work just great. To power the box, I used M18 batteries just because I have a lot of them. The system itself won't work off 18 volts. It's supposed to work off of 12 volts. So what I had to do was get if you look right here, there's a DC converter. So it has an M18 battery holder for 18 volts. The power goes into this, and this converts it into 12 volts. Everything on this works off of 12 volts. So the wiring, I tried to clean it up as good as I could, but when you buy this switch panel, this marine switch panel, it comes all pre-wired. It's really simple. The battery just clicks in, and you turn it on. It'll give you a voltage readout of what your volts are at. Once it drops below 10 volts, things are going to start shutting off. But I've been able to get a lot of battery life out of a basic M18 6.0. I usually use a 12.0, and that pretty much runs it all day. I then ran another switch to an LED light, and then one of my switches operates my black box, which is right here. This black box is what's needed to run the Garmin Panoptix Livescope system, and I mounted that with these things called elevator bolts. They're 1/4 elevator bolts. I sanded down the bottom of the box, and I just used 310 epoxy to adhere the bolts to the actual bottom of the case itself. This is just an easy tie-up of using sticky back zip tie holders, and once you just finesse it just right, you can get it to look nice and clean. That's all it is sticky back zip tie holders and zip ties. Just keeps everything out of the way. So to wire this, you have to just do a really simple task, and I'll show you how to do it. This DC panel comes pre-wired. Everything is already jumped in the back, as you can see. You have all of your grounds already done. Your power is jumped all through it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your yellow wire from your DC converter, and you're going to run it into one of these Wago lever nuts, one of these wire nuts. And then you're going to take your main power switch, which is this one right here. This is your main power switch, and you're going to run your red wire from this switch to the yellow positive wire of this DC converter. That will immediately give you power to your entire DC panel. Everything, all these switches will already be powered. Then all you have to do after that is you have to take the positive wire switch, the red wire, from each individual switch and run it to each individual item that you're trying to power. So if I want this switch right here in the front to run my blue LED lights, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my blue LED light, I'm gonna take the black wire, and I'm gonna go to the ground section that I have right here with all the grounds. These are all my black wires. And then I'm gonna take the red wire, and I'm gonna take the red wire from this, and I'm gonna plug it into the red wire that comes off this switch, which is this one right here. Once you're done that, you turn the switch on, and your LED light bar will turn on. Same as the one for the black box. All you do is you take your negative wire from your black box and you run it to the same yellow negative, or your black negative, from your DC converter. Once you run your black wire from this to the black wire from your DC converter, you then take your red wire from this and you plug it into the red wire that's coming off the back of your switch panel. That'll complete the circuit. So when you turn the switch on, the black box turns on. Same as anything. When you want to power on your screen, you run the black wire from your screen to the black wire from your DC converter, and then you take the red wire from your switch and you plug it into the red wire that comes off your screen. Positive to positive, negative to negative, and voila, it'll just work like magic. It's not confusing. It looks like a lot, but it's not confusing at all. And same with your USB ports and your 12-volt port. That's already pre-wired. So all you're doing is you're taking your reds from here and you're going straight to your reds down there. It's easy. It's not difficult. Anybody can do it. A couple more things that I want to show you on this box is the rod holders. The rod holders are pretty simple. They literally just pull up and they come right out. These can be stored inside the box while you're traveling, but they're really handy because they allow you to have all your rods at your disposal, and it's just a nice clean place to put them. So when you're traveling, just take your rod holders off, put them inside the box. That way they're not banging around and it takes up less space inside your tote sled. Secondly, coming out of the back. I got a lot of questions on this. How did you come out of the back? So what I did was I got a rubber grommet. This is like kind of has two walls on it. And so there's a channel that runs around the inside of this thing. And inside that channel is the white plastic. I just cut a hole, I slid that in there, and it's just a waterproof, it's just a way to waterproof your hole. And I kind of hit it right here, but you can see that there's a hole right there. You just can't see it because this coil's hiding it because it's not the prettiest thing in the world. So that's all that is. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode. I really hope that this was informational for you and that you were able to get something out of this. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll get back to it as soon as I can. I hope that this answered everyone's questions. And again, my name's Derek. This is Real Maine Fishing, and I'll see you outside.